Let me ask you something real. Have you ever felt like the more you gave, the less she respected you? Like every time you bent your standards to keep her, she pulled further away? If that's you, it's not because you're not worthy. It's because you lacked the one thing that makes a woman stop, think and take you seriously.
Boundaries.
Boundaries are not walls. They're gates. And only a man who respects himself enough to say no gets respect in return. In today's video, we'll break down 5 powerful boundaries that make women respect you more. Crave your presence and stop testing your worth. Each chapter is a lesson forged in real life, rooted in Stoic philosophy, backed by masculine clarity, and revealed through powerful storytelling. So before we begin, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and make sure you watch until the end, because if you master these 5 boundaries, your entire love life will transform. Chapter 1. The boundary of time. You're not always available. Listen, the majority of males don't find out this until it's too late. The way you spend your time teaches others how they should treat you. Imagine this then. Being available at all times was supposed to be the key to a woman's heart. According to Elijah, a bright and driven man, he never missed a call from her. He scrapped his obligations if she wanted to spend time with him. Even though he was engrossed in something essential, he responded to her text message within seconds. She enjoyed the spotlight for a while. However, a gradual shift occurred. Her texts became more brief. Her enthusiasm waned. She started responding hours later or canceling meetups. Elijah, perplexed, began to do even more. Additional passages of text. Added presence. Give it further thought. Struggling mightily to prove his value, but he should have known better. For the simple reason that women have less regard for guys who selflessly volunteer their time, not because they lack gratitude, but because an unrestricted level of openness conveys the following message. I don't value my time. It is at your disposal whenever you like. Time, you see, is holy to a Stoic man. It's the most precious thing you own. And once you spend it, it's gone forever. When you safeguard your time, what follows? Something strong. Out of nowhere, she is now waiting for your response. She can't help but ask why you're not accessible right now. She must honor your timetable just as you obviously do. What elevates you from being a mere mortal to a man of intrigue, significance, and worth is that little change. From being constantly present to being selectively present. And being elusive is not the point here. This is about living a life that is so rich with purpose and significance that you can't afford to take a back seat to a mere maybe. When a lady sees that you are dedicated to your purpose and not to her, she will begin to appreciate you. If you're always the first to text, if you put her needs before your own, if you give up all your energy for the sake of being connected, then you need to quit. Grab back your free time. If you value your time well, you will also value your soul. And when you're short on time, your presence is invaluable. Chapter 2. The boundary of words. You don't tolerate disrespect. Every guy has that one silent moment when he can almost hear the laughter of his own contempt. When Elijah's girlfriend made a joke about him in front of her friends one night, it was the moment for him. He too joined in the laughter. However, there was an underlying unease. This had happened before. The subtle insults, snark, and backhanded compliments had become routine. Because Elijah felt he was being mature and relaxed, he ignored it. He worried that he would come out as insecure if he made a big deal out of it. But he failed to perceive that his silence was a more pronounced signal to her with each passing moment. It's all right to address me in this manner. As long as you remain, I will tolerate contempt. That is what happens when limits are not established verbally. A Stoic man doesn't have no feelings, but he does control his emotions. What this implies is that you shouldn't become angry, ask for forgiveness, or engage in an argument when someone shows you disrespect. Whether it's subtle or obvious, say what's really on your mind once you assert. That tone is unacceptable to me. I don't find it funny if you're joking. How about we maintain this civil? Keep your voice down. You improve your quality. Why? Because women pick up on every little sign of disrespect, especially how you react to them. When you set a limit for yourself verbally, this is what happens. Here she stops. A lull occurs in her testing. Her voice changes. Why? Simply said, you have demonstrated to her, through your deeds rather than your words alone, that you prioritize your dignity over her approval. That's the type of charisma that begs for rather than demands admiration. Now consider this. Nothing will stop it until you do something about it. She will ridicule your principles tomorrow if you allow her to joke now. Permitting her to disparage you even once sets the stage for her to doubt your self-assurance. And again, never treat a boundary as an ultimatum. I call them filters. They distinguish between women who respect your manhood and those who seek to control it. So the next time a charming lady shows disdain, there's no need to protest. You should simply let your dignity to speak for itself. Simply put, a man who refuses to stoop to verbal rudeness isn't rude at all. There is no one like him. Chapter 3. The boundary of energy. You refuse to chase emotionally unavailable women. It's time to be really forthright. Has the fact that she appeared more difficult to retain ever made you work harder? The vast majority of males possess. Even Elijah did it. What a stunning woman. Curious about. Seemed different. However, she would shut down if he tried to open out. Whenever he approached, she would retreat. Both today and tomorrow she felt hot and chilled. Without fail. And what about that uncertainty? It drew him in more. In his mind, he was displaying strength, maintaining composure, having loyalty. But you know what? He was claiming love as an excuse to pursue someone who was emotionally unavailable. Pay close attention now, since this is the point at which the majority of guys fail. It is disrespectful to put your own energy into making up for a woman's 50% effort when you offer her your whole. That is not affection. That's giving up on oneself. What is taught by Stoicism? Get involved with the things you can influence. Let go of what isn't necessary. You have no power over her emotions. She is unethical. The hurts of her past, her perplexing lack of speech. Yet this is under your control. Who you focus your efforts on. The length of time you may stay confused. The version of oneself that you let other people see. And the harsh reality is, no further effort is required of emotionally unavailable women. They require additional space. Your border becomes relevant at that point. A Stoic guy will not go into eternal self-explanation. He does not demonstrate, argue, or carry out. Recognizing emotional instability for what it is, he merely says, an indication that he should guard his tranquility now. The moment Elijah stopped pushing himself too far, a miraculous event occurred. An ethereal lightness filled him. His sleep improved. He felt his thoughts clear the next day. At last he felt the vitality to construct, develop, and just be himself. And here's the catch. She returned the second he parted. Ways confused, I am intrigued, yawning for the simple act of being in someone's company again. Why? Because worth is best shown when pursuits cease. You subtly convey to her that you will not put up any resistance to remain in an environment where your welcome is merely partial. Damn, that's strong. Because of this, you shouldn't wait for closure. If you're entangled with someone who won't completely pick you, end on a high note, mark off that area. Downplay your enthusiasm for the purpose of not manipulating, yet in order to recover, to get back to who you are. Because it takes a certain kind of man, a rare one, to emerge unscathed from mental turmoil. Chapter 4. The boundary of silence. You don't argue to be understood. No one in our generation ever tells guys this. Your dignity does not require an emotional justification from anyone. In the past, Elijah had a different view. He thought that if he could just describe it more clearly, she would finally grasp it. He may win her over with a stronger argument. After he reasoned for a while, she would cease misinterpreting his remarks and begin to understand his true feelings. His energy was depleted with every dispute, no matter how much he offered. It was like trying to fill a cracked glass with water. Then one night, in the middle of another tiresome argument, he simply ceased. Her words hung awkwardly in the air, making allegations, posing questions, conducting experiments. His silence was deafening, devoid of wrath. By no means is it a loss. Upon coming to the senses, stop wasting time debating the qualities that should characterize a decent man. Just be yourself. Marcus Aurelius. That instant had a profound impact. Being silent does not mean you are weak. It stands as a plan. Instead of trying to be understood, a Stoic man prioritizes tranquility above proof. Silence is a powerful barrier. When someone attempts to drag you into emotional turmoil, it states, everything that needs to be said has been said. I will not be repetitive. This is not a fight that I intend to win. Peace is what I'm here to defend. I refuse to bear the responsibility if you still do not comprehend my identity by this point. Following Elijah's disengagement, the following occurred. Disagreement eventually subsided. She came to the realization that her emotional force was no longer there. Gradually, she started to value the quiet that had before terrified her. Silence, you see, compels contemplation. She needs time to process what you've said when you pause. Her actions will be called into question if you cease to provide explanations. She realizes what she's giving up when you quit bickering. Do not let this lead you to deny or downplay the truth. What this implies is that you make your point and then withdraw. Leave it alone. No evidence. Avoid pleading. Simplicity then serenity. The man who doesn't try to get people to notice, like, or approve of him eventually becomes untouchable. And believe me when I say that untouchable guys are appreciated. Refrain from becoming involved in someone's emotional games from now on. Silence is more powerful than any argument. Also keep in mind, everyone pays attention to a man who keeps his peace. By being present, rather than by making noise. Chapter 5. The Boundary of Standards. You don't tolerate emotional games. Let's be completely forthright. Some ladies won't put you through hell and back. Quietness will be their weapon of choice, in a state of bewilderment, using video games. Responses that are overdue. It starts with jealousy, putting up sexually suggestive stories while seeming like it's simply for fun. Most men now give in to it. In their minds, I think she's merely testing my level of concern. She likely had a difficult day. She will cease if I maintain my composure and empathy. However, that is the catch. You sacrifice something crucial, your standard, the second you put up with emotional games. And an unprincipled man, he fades into oblivion. Because of this, Elijah learnt the hard way. He was being played like a violin by the woman he was seeing. Suddenly, she was smitten with him. She vanished the following day without a trace, then came back as if nothing had transpired. Patience was his virtue. At peace, calm on the outside but raging on the inside. Then one night she canceled a date last minute with a sloppy explanation, and when he called her out, she spun it back on him. You're being too sensitive. That was the moment Elijah snapped back into power. Then it hit him. He wasn't acting very stoic, he was taking a back seat. You're mistaken. Standing firm when insulted is not stoicism. Principle, not emotion, guides the action. What exactly did he do? No big deal. He just ceased participating. No fight. I don't understand. Leave it alone. He remained silent. His bar was lifted. What about that quiet? She felt a tremor. Because all of a sudden she couldn't regulate the intensity of her emotions. The fact is this. As long as you give in to a woman's manipulation of your emotions, she will continue to do it indefinitely. However, if you have a high bar and want to make it clear, respect, consistency, and clarity are the only things I deal with. After which she gets a new level or departs. On one hand, you're winning. Your standard isn't meant to dominate her. It's meant to glorify you. Thus keep in mind, in the instant when someone endeavors to disturb your tranquility for their own sake, you should go with grace at that point. Chapter 6. The Boundary of Self. You come first no matter who comes after. All the others are connected to this border. It lacks allure. It's not a big deal. However, it is the one that restores your spirit. Personal limits. This wasn't uncovered in a passionate time for Elijah. It was on a peaceful evening following another emotional roller coaster when he found it alone. Something hurtful hit him as he glanced at himself in the mirror. For a long time, he hadn't put himself first, disregarding his personal objectives. Quietly, he was unwell. No, his development. He never stopped striving to show his worth, to be enough for someone who didn't value him. Then he realized the ultimate truth. If I don't prioritize myself, no one will ever respect me. There is no hubris about it. That is the truth as held by the Stoics. Love may make a guy forget about himself. Much like a monarch might leave his throne to pursue an errant guest. What becomes of a kingdom when its ruler abdicates? It breaks down, and thus Elijah rebuilt. He took his mission very seriously. His time at the gym became vital. Instead of wasting time in the mornings reading messages, he dedicated himself to becoming an expert in his field. He didn't squander his nights trying to justify his value. Rather, he put them into developing into an irreproachable guy. Plus, a remarkable occurrence happened. Some of the ladies he used to pursue finally took note. And it wasn't because he was a better chaser. The reason being that he ceased pursuing completely. He exuded an air of self-centeredness which set him apart. The man who prioritizes himself is remarkable in a society where men manipulate others for approval. Most guys overlook this Stoic secret. When you prioritize yourself, not in a selfish way, but with a purpose, everything else falls into place. You can no longer stand disorder. You must end your tolerance for ambiguity. When you quit trying to fit in, you'll finally be yourself. You develop, and progress necessitates limits. This is the last reminder. No one else's business except your own serenity. Do what you are meant to do. Furthermore, your standards serve as a shield for you. No self-centered man ever loses love. A love that complements his strengths finds him. Okay, sibling. Do not give up on your journey because you are following someone who is ill-equipped to accompany you. Take precautions. Put yourself first. Respect yourself. What kind of man does that? He gets unmovable. Conclusion. Please tell me where you're giving too much detail in your life. Giving too much? Pursuing too much? Just doing more won't cut it. It's about doing less work with more impact. Establish a limit. Only say it once. Keep it in your hand after that. Why? Because when males set boundaries, they are respected. Subscribing, like, and commenting below will help spread the word if this hits home. Your relationships will evolve as a result of your limits, but you will also undergo personal transformation as a result. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.